Hi, welcome to our channel, Green Thumb, Black Thumb.
I'm Green Thumb Becky.
And I am Black Thumb Karen.
Today, as you see, we're not out in the garden. We are sitting here at a table full of economical, wonderful ways that you too can seed start at home. We wanted to show how you can make these affordable, easy to, in most cases, make at-home pots that you can start your seeds in. And we wanted to get this out to you now, since we are at the very beginning of 2026, and it's also approaching seed starting time, especially here in Florida.
Yeah, so when we look at YouTube, we see a whole bunch of people making different biodegradable organic pots, and we just wanted to know of these work better. Everybody claims theirs is the best. They use egg cartons to start carrots. They use these little tubes for tomatoes. I mean, you can anything. You can use them for anything. And you might ask, what in the world? This may not be organic.
It's not even biodegradable.
Oops. But this has a special, no pun intended, role. And we'll show you that in just a few minutes.
So what we have here is we have these specifically for us are our local grocery store ads, and they get sent to us what seems like 4 times a day, every day. These are toilet paper and cardboard rolls.
Where we change them 4 times a day, every day.
At her house especially. This is just the cardboard that you probably get from Amazon. This is literally just the cardboard. It's not got that glossy coat, and it's been soaked.
But we'll get into that when we try to make it.
And then, of course, these are the biodegradable egg cartons, not the plastic ones or the styrofoam ones.
All right. So we've decided we're going to go ahead and trial each type of pot, and we're going to try to see which one works best. And then we're going to show you how they're made. And then we're going to try out 4 or 5 different types of crops in each system.
8.
8 crops. Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
So let me show you the seeds we're going to use. We're going to use Waltham 29, and these are all new or very new seeds. So the Waltham 29 broccoli, the Green Arrow sweet pea. These are shelling peas. The iceberg lettuce, Calabrese broccoli. Then we're going to try out, oh my God, I can't read that. What does that say? We're going to try Bloomsdale spinach.
Okay, it says the urbanharvest.com arugula.
Thank you. And then we're going to try out arugula and cherry bell radish. And
okay, this is way more than 8.
No, it's not. I want to count. This is Waltham broccoli too. And then finally, we're going to do a bok choy petite star. Now, we're planting these strictly for the Florida climate, 9A, 8B. So,
and it is January 4th right now, just FYI.
Correct, 2026.
Yeah.
So,
Happy New Year.
Yay. If you're in a different climate, go ahead and adjust these times and dates for your area as appropriate.
All right, so Becky is going to show you how to make this.
So, take your favorite biodegradable egg carton. It doesn't matter what color it is. It really doesn't. Most of them hold 12 eggs, but some of them may hold 18, like this one. And if you have 18, consider the crop you want to plant in there. It may be maybe more useful for you to have that if you're a real big lettuce fan. Carrots. Or broccoli. I wouldn't start carrots in these, and that may be a place of debate for us, because carrots are a root crop and they don't like to be transplanted. However, beets are okay.
You know, I wonder if we poked a hole in the bottom of some of these for the carrots. You
still have to transplant.
No, this is biodegradable. That's the whole point.
I understand.
This will degrade.
You still have to transplant them into the soil.
No, you cut it out of the thing.
Anyway, you take this. I know this is tough, so pay attention to me cut the top off. 12 pots.
She majored in arts and crafts.
I did. And you're done. There you go.
Yay!
Your turn. Now, Black Thumb is going to show you how to make these. Have at it, Black Thumb. It's all you.
Awesome. Okay, now we're gonna make our little toilet paper tube pots. So as you can see, it's open on one end, it is folded on the other.
May I ask you a question?
You may.
Are you restricted to using only toilet paper tubes?
Why no? You can use a paper towel tube. Now, when you use a paper towel tube, you're gonna have to cut it down to size. So you can get 1, 2, and almost 3 when you use a paper towel tube. Now, we're gonna start with the toilet paper tube because it's already cut to size. So, what you wanna do is you see this diameter right here? Okay, that diameter, you wanna cut about a half the distance of the diameter. You're gonna have to estimate that part. Okay, so here we go. Looks like it's probably about an inch. I think it's about a 2-inch tube. And you wanna do it in each quarter. So you want 4 cuts. One's gonna be directly across from the other. So I have made cuts that are about half the diameter of this so that I'm going to push it down like that. And then you're just gonna do each side the same way. Just fold it down. Now here, if you're coordinated enough, and I'm not sure I am, and you really want to, you can go down and pop out. Hang on a second. So you see, trying to do this blind, y'all. You push down the bottom. It's better to use a spoon. We found a spoon works really well for this part. Okay. Now, dang it. Hang on a minute. Can't see. I want it to be pretty. Okay. Okay, so after you squish it down, you have this nice folded bottom. You don't have to sit there and like tuck them in and lock them like that. They'll pretty much stay like that, but this helps it stay together. There's a little drain hole in the bottom, but it'll probably drain anyway since it's cardboard. But it's up to you how you want to do this. That is how you do a toilet paper / paper towel tube pot. All right, y'all, now we're going up in technical difficulty. So Becky here is going to show you how to make one of these.
Little paper pots. So first off, what you need to do is you need to get your favorite local grocery store flyer. At least that's what we use. I wanted to start with whole grocery store flyers because they're the best example, but this particular one is my favorite as it is, it comes in the perfect starter size. And when it's, before you get it cut, all you do is basically cut it in half in all ways around. Just when it comes out, you just cut it one way in half and then fold it over, cut it in half again, and then you just separate the pages. And
so it's like 2-ply?
It is. It's like a 2-ply. And then this is my actual original paper folding tube. We're special. Guys, what I do is I take my roll, my
form,
thank you, and I put it on here. I like, I just, it doesn't matter which side you start with. And I put it about 3/4 of an inch from the bottom, right here you see, and I just start rolling it around there. Now I make sure that I keep this other side nice and neat and even. It helps overall with making your little pot. It doesn't matter this side, it really doesn't. But you do need the top to be even to be successful. Now you see, this is even, and that's going to behoove you later. Take the part where it's overlapped and you fold it over. Wow, that's really deep. So I'm going to push this up a little bit because that was too deep. You see, now that's another good thing about this. If you make it too big or too small, you can always resize it before you finish. I'm going to pull this in, push this in. This part that's got the this, where they've overlapped, push that in first. Turn it a quarter turn. Push the next part in. Another quarter turn. Push that in. And finally you're at the last side and you push that in, and I like to push it in all the way through. And you turn it over, and I kind of like to flatten it out a little bit while I'm holding it here. And you take your spoon, and it really is the best tool. I'm going to have to look at it, sorry, because that's the only way you're going to get ultimate perfection with the paper pots. Because I'm perfect. All right, so here's what you do. You take your spoon, and you put it around all the edges just to make sure they're nice and crisp, because honestly, that crispness will help it stand up, and it will also help you keep the edges down. And it's gorgeous. Do you see that beautiful bottom there? Now you pull the tube out,
Almost like foggy.
and then you start to fold down the edges at the top. Typically it's about a 1/4 inch. If it's really uneven, then you may need to go a little more. But this you need to help close it out to make it really super stable for you as a pot. When you've gone all the way around, you've got this thing of beauty here, a beautiful little pot that you can plant in. Personally, this one is my favorite. I find it to be the easiest to do, quickest to do, and you've got a never-ending resource from your local grocery store. So now for the next one. Take it, Black Thumb.
All right, guys. I'm going to show you how to do the cardboard pots. These are made out of your standard cardboard boxes. And this is a pretty thick kind of pot. And I don't know how long it will last. We're going to find out together. So, but yeah, you're just going to take some boxes of cardboard, cut them into, I was using strips about this wide, and about this wide, which looks about
That
6-7
looks about
inches.
6 inches.
Yeah. And I was using a 20-ounce can to roll.
As the form.
As the form, yes. And then we should go to that, and we can roll that footage to show you exactly how these are made. So
Roll footage here.
okay, guys, so here we're going to make our cardboard paper pots. So I'm just going to show you, notice we're outdoors because, well, that's what it requires, unless you've got big indoor space to use and get messy with. Okay, so I'm going to show you what supplies we need. And down here, we're going to start with some sort of form that you need. I'm using a 20-ounce can. You can use a bottle or soup can or whatever suits your needs. Need some twine or a twisty or some means by which to keep the cardboard stuck together.
And we'll allow it to dry, so tape is not
Yeah.
a good idea.
Yeah, correct. Okay, and you're going to want to cut the strings long enough to go all the way around whatever size form you're using. You're going to need scissors with which to cut your twine and or cardboard. A bin full of, well, not full, but enough water where if you need to wet your cardboard again, you can do it in the bin. And then you have cardboard, which here I have pre-wetted because it's just easier to get it soft first, because I like to just rip off the size strips that I need. So that's how we're starting this. Okay, so I'm just going to use about the length of this first little, natural bend in the cardboard. And I'm just going to rip off because I don't care to cut. If you need to cut it. I'm not that, I don't care that much. So, and then see how the cardboard is kind of corrugated in layers? I kind of split that. So I'm going to take that and split it.
How many sections do you split it in?
Just the two, just in half. And so sometimes it might be a little dry inside, and you might want to re-wet that in your bin of water. But in this case, it's okay. It's wet enough. I mean, as long as it's just wet through and through, it doesn't have to be drippy, drippy, drippy. But, all right. And so for the bottom, you can choose whichever side you want for the bottom. I'm going to go ahead and choose the less perfect side for the bottom.
So this kind of looks like the paper pots.
It does. Okay, now what I am doing is leaving enough bottom that I can fold it in, just like we did with the paper, and a little at the top here, and depends on how big you want your pot. And so we want it to be, the strip to be long enough so that when we start rolling, it'll go around at least twice, which is what I did with the others. And actually, this is a good point at which to cut, because it would be easier going this way to cut it. And that could be used for another pot. All right. So, all right. So now, and it doesn't matter. You can see here there was a hand hole. That's all right. So that's okay. And now I'm going to just do like we did for the paper pots and fold these in, fold it in. Oh, I probably should have started with the seam first. The seam. So if I started with the seam first, that probably would have made it a little more stable. But anyway, and then I put it down here, and I'm going to just go around like this to kind of press it so that the bottom will stay together a little bit better. Okay, and then I'm just going to pull. Oh, that's right. I don't want to do that yet. I need the string. Okay, let me make sure I have this out here. All right, so I take my string and I'm going to tie it, not too tight, because you don't want to cut through the cardboard. If you pull real tight, it'll cut through the cardboard. So you just want it strong enough or tight enough to hold it snug, but not cut through it. All right. One on the bottom to hold the bottom side. I don't know what would be easier to use, zip ties, or that'd be expensive. The twisties.
I'm going to bet it may be easier to use zip ties, but I think the twine is going to be easier to come by.
Yeah, and well, it's less expensive. Okay, so, all right, I'm going to pull this off. Ta-da! It's a boy! Okay. All right, so now I'm just going to, I wish I had something more blunt, like a spoon, like we did with the paper pots. But right now I only have these scissors, so I'm just going to kind of push the bottom down a little bit. And then we set it to dry. So the bottom's still a little bit.
Maybe you can push that one through anyway.
Nah, not with these. At least, I mean, to me it's too hard to try to do that. And I just leave it to dry like that. You can, I guess. I mean, you could try that on another pot. And so that one's going to be, that's how it is. This one we're going to leave to dry. And leave it that way till it gets dry enough that the bottom will stay folded like that. Let's see what we can do with this shorter piece.
But it stayed.
Yeah, I think this is a little better. Yeah, I guess if you can push it through like we did on the paper pots, that'll work out.
There you go.
So, looks pretty good, looks pretty good. And there we go too. It takes a little bit more effort and a little bit more planning and more space. And it's just a little messier. But if you're really wanting kind of burlier paper pots, this is something you might want to do. And
they will ultimately biodegrade too, if you're using the right kind of cardboard.
Yeah.
You don't want to use the cardboard that has the glossy outside. You want to make sure if there is any print on it that it is the soy print. And please ensure that you take all tape off, regardless of whether it's the paper tape or not.
You don't want those microplastics in your food.
Yeah.
And the plasticizers.
And in the paper tape, they do have those strengtheners, which are plastic, so they won't biodegrade. And so, I don't know, do you want to go ahead and give your personal opinion as to which one you like the best?
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Okay, so Green Thumb Becky, she's going to show you how to make a snail roll.
This is a snail roll. This is a completed snail roll. What it is in this case, after researching many methods and materials used, while we could go through all of these materials, we have chosen to go with bubble wrap. And the reason being is that bubble wrap is reusable, so it is good for the environment. If you're worried about recycling and such, while it will not biodegrade in your garden, you can reuse it for your next set of seeds.
Reuse is better than recycle.
And then look at this.
Christmas provided us with lots of supplies.
That's right, and we can absolutely reuse these. In this case, what we're using today, I actually received some packages and they came wrapped in this. So I just cut them up, cut them to size, and this one is what we're using. It's 7 inches tall and it is the bag length ×2. And that is really technical, but it's however long you want. It's this long. All right, so now I'm placing the bubble side down on the surface, and we've got this cardboard down here to protect us from ourselves.
So just as a caveat, when you do these, you should have like a little tray ready to put the finished ones in when you're done, because you can see it might leave a little bit of a mess.
You do need a good soil. I am not using a seed starting soil. I am using a really good potting soil. I'm using ocean forest, and I'll put a little graphic somewhere here that shows
or here.
Yeah, exactly. Probably here. That shows what I'm using. Yeah, I spend a little extra money on my soil, and it's my choice. So, but you do need a good soil to help give these little guys a good start. Now, it won't take long after they germinate for them to start reaching into the soil for that extra nutrition. You take your bubble wrap, in our case, and we just take a handful of this soil and we start piling it on. It needs to be thicker than you think, because even though you're going to roll it, the seeds have to have something to hang on to. It can't be just some little wussy kind of amount of soil. So, is that enough over there?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, cool. I'm actually going to need Black Thumb's help on this one, so she's a good help in this case.
It's about an inch thick.
Yeah, and that's really good. And then, because then we have to, we need a watering can. Okay, and then the next step is watering, and because we are who we are here, we have another non-standard watering device. So generally you want to put some of the water on it. You don't want to go heavy-handed at this stage, but this is kind of dry soil. This is actually good for controlling. Sweet, you did a good job.
Thanks.
All right.
Kidneys. Did you get the other end all the way?
Yeah, I did. It just needs a little more, I think. This is good.
There we go.
All right, I'm just going to set this over there. All right, let's make sure it's in. All right, and then I'm going to leave it. It's over the edges, as you can see. We only obviously need it to go to the edges. But next, we take the end here, and this is where it gets a little messy, so be prepared. But you just literally start to roll it up like a snail or a snail. And then you're going to see it kind of pop out the edges, but try to keep them even. My first attempt, which that one was, wasn't so even. And you're going to find it works better, because we found immediately that by not keeping the ends even, it was not as good as it could have been. All right, so here's the final one. I'm going to brush off the top, because this is actually so much better than the first one I did. I'm so pleased. All right, now we need some water. Make it a little moist.
Moist.
All right, if you can pour that, just fill that in with some water. We don't need much, because
just enough to get the seeds going.
Right. All right. We decided this time we're going to go with Bloomsdale spinach. Yep. We both love Bloomsdale spinach, or spinach. And these are. Oh, go ahead.
Just remind me. I forgot to tell you, but my Ethiopian kale. Speaking of spinach.
So close. So.
But it's huge. I
Nice.
was wondering why it didn't look like any of the other broccoli I had planted. Which one of these things is not like the other? I'll show you that in another video.
Yes, she will. Later.
Okay, you know what? That's like super good.
It is. Because
Overpopulation can be a bad thing.
she's saying that because all of these transplants in a later video are going into her yard.
Okay, show everybody what you're doing on the other camera.
All right. I think I lost a seed in here too.
You're gonna have a true
Look.
garden bag of goodies.
Look at this. There's the seeds on top. See the seeds on top? Now I'm going to press them in just a little bit, and we may throw some more soil on top just because. And I think in this case that's going to be warranted. Boop, boop, be doo. Boop. Boo, doo, 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 doo. And we need water. And in this case, we're done. There is the spinach.
All right, so drum roll. So without having actually used them first, I mean, just in terms of making them, I think that probably the paper cup, the toilet paper tubes, maybe easiest. Maybe the egg carton, but those are so shallow.
No, I got my own, my personal favorite.
You like the newspaper?
I like the snail roll.
Oh, I forgot about the snail roll.
The snail roll
Yeah,
is
snail roll.
definitely going to be easy, but
Definitely.
we may have to come back with a second vote after we've
Yeah, we
gone
still have
through
to
one
grow.
growing cycle.
This is just the making the pot thing. Yeah. Oh,
This-
I
this
can't
is-
believe I forgot about the damn snail roll.
This is our pre-growing vote. We will give you a post-growing vote. So that said, let's go grow.
Let's grow it.